The 9 most haunted places in the world. The world is full of places with a dark and eerie past, places where ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena continue to haunt visitors to this day. From ancient castles and abandoned asylums to mysterious forests and haunted hotels, these locations are shrouded in mystery and legend, drawing curious visitors from all over the world. In this video, we'll take a closer look at the 9 most haunted places in the world, exploring their dark history and supernatural stories. 1. The Tower of London, England. Built in the 11th century, the Tower of London has a long and bloody history as a royal palace, prison, and execution site. Its walls have seen the imprisonment and execution of many notable figures throughout history, including Anne Boleyn, Lady Jane Grey, and countless others. Visitors to the tower have reported seeing the ghostly apparitions of these prisoners and others who met their untimely end within its walls. The most famous of these is the ghost of Anne Boleyn, who was beheaded on the orders of her husband King Henry VIII. Her ghost is said to haunt the tower, wandering the halls and even appearing at the window of the room where she was imprisoned before her execution. Other sightings include the ghostly figure of the White Lady, who is said to be the ghost of a woman who was walled up alive within the tower, and the ghost of Sir Walter Raleigh, who was executed for treason and whose headless body is said to appear on the anniversary of his death. 2. The Catacombs of Paris, France. Beneath the streets of Paris lies a network of tunnels and chambers known as the Catacombs. Originally created as a solution to the city's overcrowded cemeteries, the catacombs now hold the remains of over 6 million people. The catacombs have long been associated with dark rituals and occult practices, and visitors have reported feeling an eerie presence and hearing strange noises while exploring this macabre site. Some have even reported seeing ghostly apparitions and feeling an otherworldly presence within the tunnels. One of the most famous stories associated with the catacombs is that of Philibert Aspert, a man who disappeared within the tunnels in the late 18th century. His body was later found in a remote corner of the catacombs, surrounded by strange symbols and markings. To this day, his death remains a mystery. 3. The Island of the Dolls, Mexico. Located in the canals of Xochimilco, Mexico, the Island of the Dolls is a creepy and disturbing place. The island is covered with hundreds of decaying dolls and their dismembered parts, hung from trees and scattered across the ground. The story behind the Island of the Dolls is equally unsettling. The island's former owner, Don Julian Santana, began collecting dolls after finding the body of a drowned girl in the canal. He believed that her spirit haunted the island, and so he began hanging dolls as a way to appease her. Visitors to the island have reported hearing the dolls whispering and moving on their own, and some have even claimed to have seen the ghostly figure of the drowned girl wandering among them. 4. The Stanley Hotel, Colorado, USA. The Stanley Hotel in Colorado is said to be one of the most haunted places in America. This grand old hotel was the inspiration for Stephen King's The Shining, and guests have reported seeing ghostly apparitions and hearing strange noises throughout the building. One of the most famous stories associated with the Stanley Hotel is that of room 217, where King himself stayed and experienced several supernatural encounters. Guests who have stayed in the room since have reported seeing the ghostly figure of a woman in period clothing, believed to be the hotel's former head housekeeper, who died in a tragic accident in the room. Other supernatural sightings at the Stanley Hotel include a phantom pianist playing music in the empty ballroom, the ghost of a little girl running through the hallways, and the ghost of the hotel's founder, F.O. Stanley, who is said to still make his presence felt in the hotel's lobby. 5. The Aokigahara Forest, Japan. Also known as the Sea of Trees, the Aokigahara Forest in Japan is a dense and foreboding place. It is also known as the Suicide Forest, as it is a popular site for people to take their own lives. The forest's eerie atmosphere and tragic history have led to numerous reports of supernatural activity, including ghostly apparitions and unexplained noises. Some visitors have even reported feeling a sense of malevolent energy within the forest, as if something is watching them from the shadows. One of the most famous stories associated with the Aokigahara Forest is that of the eerie, or ghostly spirits, who are said to haunt the forest. Visitors have reported seeing these ghostly apparitions, often in the form of a woman in a white dress, wandering through the trees. 6. The Winchester Mystery House, California, USA. The Winchester Mystery House in California is a strange and unusual mansion, built by Sarah Winchester, the widow of the founder of the Winchester Rifle Company. Legend has it that Sarah believed she was cursed by the spirits of those killed by the rifles her husband's company produced, and so she built the house as a way to confuse and confound the spirits. The house is a maze of twisting corridors, secret passageways, and staircases that lead to nowhere. Visitors have reported feeling a strange energy within the house and hearing unexplained noises and footsteps. Some have even reported seeing the ghostly figure of Sarah Winchester herself, wandering the halls of her strange and mysterious home. 7. The Bell Witch Cave, Tennessee, USA. The Bell Witch Cave in Tennessee is said to be one of the most haunted places in America. The cave is located on the former site of the Bell family farm, and it is said that the Bell family was tormented by a malevolent spirit known as the Bell Witch in the early 19th century. Visitors to the cave have reported feeling an intense sense of unease and hearing strange noises, including the sound of footsteps and the eerie voice of the Bell Witch herself. Some have even reported being physically touched or pushed by an unseen force. The Bell Witch Cave is a popular destination for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts, who come to explore its dark and haunted depths. 8. Chateau de Brissac, France. The Chateau de Brissac in France is a stunningly beautiful castle, but it is also said to be one of the most haunted places in Europe. Legend has it that the castle's former owner, the Duke of Brissac, was murdered by his wife and her lover in the castle's bedroom. Visitors to the castle have reported seeing the ghostly figure of the murdered Duke wandering the halls, as well as hearing the sound of his footsteps and the eerie sound of a woman weeping. The castle's bedroom, where the murder took place, is said to be particularly haunted, with visitors reporting feeling a sense of unease and discomfort upon entering the room. 9. The Myrtles Plantation, Louisiana, USA. The Myrtles Plantation in Louisiana is a beautiful and historic mansion, but it is also said to be one of the most haunted places in America. The plantation is known for its dark and tragic history, including the murder of a former owner and the deaths of numerous slaves who were forced to work on the property. Visitors to the Myrtles Plantation have reported seeing the ghostly figure of a woman in a green dress, believed to be the ghost of a former slave who died on the property. Other supernatural sightings include the ghostly apparitions of former owners and their children, as well as unexplained noises and strange occurrences. One of the most famous stories associated with the Myrtles Plantation is that of the chandelier ghost. Legend has it that a former owner of the plantation was murdered in the house, and that her ghost still haunts the property to this day. Visitors have reported seeing the chandelier in the house swing back and forth on its own, as if the ghostly presence is still making its presence felt. Conclusion. The world is full of spooky and haunted places, each with their own unique histories and legends. From haunted hotels and castles to creepy forests and caves, there are countless places around the globe that are said to be haunted by ghostly spirits and supernatural entities. Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, visiting these haunted places can be a thrilling and spooky experience. Just be prepared to keep an open mind and to expect the unexpected,